Wahoo!
Yippee!
Mario!
It's me, Mario.
Wahoo!
Waha!
Oh!
Wait.
Oh, Luigi!
Were you gonna do like a sex Mario thing and you feel better of it?
I was like,
This podcast is a production of Digital and Creative Media Works. To help support us, head to dcm.works to find links to our other show notes, Patreon, and merch. Hey guys, welcome back to the Arthritis Podcast, official podcast of Digital and Creative Media Works. My name is David, DCM, Creative Director, Lead Writer, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Ben.
Wahoo!
Yippee!
It's Mario!
Why we're doing those noises this week. This isn't a coincidence, because this week, despite the hoopla, despite Stranger Things Season 2, despite Assassin's Creed, despite Wolfenstein 2,
We're playing a Mario game.
we are talking about the level design of Mario Odyssey.
Oh, this game.
Take me on a journey, Benjamin. Take me on a journey.
Take you on a journey.
Take me on
the
an Odyssey.
On the cat plane.
Put me
through
on
the
a hat.
world,
Take
through
me
the
across,
cat kingdom.
across the light beam.
So I'm running this one.
Show me the world.
Because David has played about an hour of it.
It's all recorded, but I played.
So we got the hour, but
Um,
he's played an hour.
I've been sick all week. This is the first day I've been able to speak words.
Cool.
I got sick on Monday. It's James's fault. He got me sick on
James,
Saturday.
shout out to James.
Fuck you. And I wasn't able to speak for the better part of the week. This is the first day I can, so I haven't shut up all day to kind of make up for it. But I'm going to shut up now because this is your show.
This is my show now.
Well, it's my show, but you're in charge of this show.
That's my show now.
Well, it's my
We're going to rename it
No,
to
this is-
the Ben Corner.
No, this is my show, but you're in charge
this
of this
is
episode.
this is the Ben Corner.
Well, that's always been
So
the
you're
Ben
not
corner.
part of the show anymore.
Fine. I'll
Just
go
the
to the
Ben
David
corner.
corner, I
Yep.
guess. So, talk to me, weave me a tale about Mario Odyssey's level design.
So I've played all of it.
How many hours do you have? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, but
Too
it's
many is the
at
answer.
I mean, I've played through like the main story.
About
and
how
I'm
long is that?
Probably about 10 hours.
That seems brief.
Yeah, it's pretty short. But then the game opens up. Like
Mhm.
it really is a tutorial for the actual game.
Right.
So this Mario Odyssey, it's 100% a sequel to like Mario Sunshine and Mario 64.
Yeah.
It's more 64 than Sunshine, just because.
Just by merit of Sunshine
Just by
being
merit of
already, like narrative, like in its puzzles.
Yeah, well, and Sunshine having the flood,
Right.
The weird water
Whereas
gun.
64 is very like
64 is just
explore.
Mario.
You
Yeah.
just romp around the worlds and you find
Yeah,
stuff.
whereas like Sunshine was like you have the water gun and you do water things,
You
whereas
do more things.
whereas 64 is just like you're just a Mario. In this game, it's just like you're just a Mario.
But how?
But sometimes you're not a Mario. Sometimes you're a frog.
you
And
gotta
sometimes
go,
you're
or
a,
you have a ghost.
sometimes you're a bullet boy. Sometimes you're a
bullet bill.
Goomby.
a Goomby.
Sometimes a Goomba.
Is he a one?
Yeah, you
Jump
get,
in a
you gotta-
Goomby?
You gotta be a Goomby
I gotta say, from my hour with it,
from your hour.
it was just like delightful. Like,
It's so Nintendo.
it's you know, like Zelda is great, but it's like beautiful and like awe-inspiring.
Zelda yeah.
This just makes me smile like a goofy soft.
It was
boy.
a weird kind of thing where Zelda changed so much with the release of Zelda, but this
So
is
much.
this is pure Mario.
This is just like if I picked up like, you know, I was telling you during that recording, or maybe it was before it, that as a kid the only console I had for a long time was the Nintendo 64, and we had Mario
For all
Kart.
intents and purposes, not a bad deal.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
We had Mario Kart. We had an F1 like car racing game. We had a snowboarding game called 1080 something.
Oh, dude, 1080, like yeah.
yeah, but
I love
was,
that
I was
one,
too
yeah.
young to be good at it, so it was
Yeah,
really tough.
I had 1080. On the
and then
PS1,
1080
yeah.
snowboarding, I think is what it was
Yeah.
called. And then also we had Mario 64, and Mario 64 was the game that we just like. My brother and I spent hours. Like
Yeah.
whenever we went to my dad's place, we would like sit down in front of it. We'd lie in front of the TV, and one of us would play it, but just like hours on end, and we would just become so absorbed in like getting the next star.
Yeah.
And trying to like, oh, how do we get to like you can see this thing? Like, how do we get to it? And it was just this whole like discovery of this
Man,
world.
you're gonna
and
lose
solving
your
these problems.
mind in some of these.
Yeah,
levels in
man. So
Odyssey.
well, you know, some of the stuff I'm like, you know, there was a moment when we were playing where there was these towers in this desert area, and there was a moon on top of one of them, and my brain was immediately like, okay, it's Mario. There's invisible platforms. I've got this.
You
And I
just
did
ran
it
across
immediately.
it. I was like,
Like,
David.
I just went I went into like the special kid zone where I was like, I get puzzles, you know?
It was so weird.
And I just have
was like-
never. It was delightful. Like it
Yeah.
tickled that part of me that I thought was dead and buried.
Yeah, it's
You know.
it's Super Nintendo, and it comes down to like there's like two parts of this game that make it like just pristine. Like the story sucks dick. The story's horrible. Like Peach gets captured.
It's
Fucking
Mario.
woohoo, it's Mario. I know Kotaku, which I thought was really funny. They actually like in their cons section for this game, they were like, "Oh, Peach gets captured again." And it's just like
Maybe,
that's-
but maybe one time Luigi could get captured.
well, it's actually indicative of them not finishing the game. Because
okay, don't spoil it
Peach
for us.
does get captured, but
Okay.
the story is the tutorial for the actual game.
As always, if the name is in the
Spoilers.
title of the episode,
probably spoil most of
spoilers
it.
for it.
Um,
I don't give a shit because it's
David
Mario,
doesn't care because
but
it's Mario.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the fun isn't knowing what happens to a point. The
fun
fun
is
is
doing it.
Fun is doing it.
And discovering the puzzles and the solutions.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this game and where it kind of differs from 64, and I haven't played too much of Sunshine, so like I'm basing it off a minimal experience of Sunshine. So instead of stars, you have moons. It's the same thing. There's just
Yeah.
a fuck ton more of them.
Which is interesting because
Stars, there was like 120.
Well, they were interesting because each level had a finite amount, and you could go through that level 3 or 4 times and have them all, and you would master that space.
Yeah, so the idea with the 64 is that it was full of stars, and each one of them was kind of like a mini puzzle.
Right, whereas Sunshine was much more, this is an open space, and there are discrete but connected issues for you to solve. They weren't necessarily puzzles, they were like, fix this problem,
Yeah,
and you'll get your reward,
yeah.
right?
And Odyssey is just like, there's just moons everywhere. It's just like, climb up a tree, win a prize.
It did...
There's actually...
yeah, it
there's,
did feel like that.
There's legitimate... So each of the moon has like a name, similar to like the Mario 64 one.
Oh, I didn't notice.
So they're all
that.
named.
Yeah. We were too busy having
I think the early ones aren't really named, but once you start doing them,
Right,
they're
but
named.
when it's 2 a.m. and I'm lying in bed playing Mario,
Yeah.
I'm gonna notice.
I think the funniest one I've seen is it's literally there was like an emblem, like a hat emblem. It was shining, and I hit it with my hat, and the moon came out, and I was like, that was fucking easy. And like the moon name was just like called "Spin the Hat, Win a Prize."
Right.
I was like, yeah, spin the hat,
you're
win
right.
a prize.
Do you, this is something that I'm curious to pick your brain about. Jokes like that in a video game have 2 different functions, right? So that this kind of the point of that joke is they're saying, hey, listen, we gave you this one because we know not everyone's great at this game.
Yeah.
Right? Here it is. Enjoy your moon. And you're like, cool, great. But a part of me goes, right, but reflexively going, that was a bad joke. It doesn't make it not a bad joke. Like, you know, them saying, well, that was easy, doesn't make it not
I think it's
easy.
hilarious, but
No, but like, it can be funny, but do you think that that's something that, from a design perspective, because that's what you do and you think about a lot, is that something they would have consciously sat down and gone, okay, well, we know there's going to be new players. We know there's going to be people that have never played Mario before. How do we get them through the story, you know, without being like, let me hold your hand. You know,
Yeah.
it's here are these easy to get moons.
yeah, and that's a big part of the level design is that when you play through the game the first time, which again is really the tutorial, you're given very discrete objectives to complete, and if you complete those objectives, most of the time you'll have enough stuff to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, they require you to do a bit more self-exploration. So in the first level that you did today,
Mm-hmm.
they gave you 4 stars just based on telling you to do these things, and then you had to find one more. And so
But it
you
was,
ran
like,
around a bit and you found
pretty
one
obvious.
in just it was just out in the open. There wasn't really a puzzle. You
Yeah.
found it, you fucked off.
Right.
And it's like, there are moons that are like that, where it's just like, you'll just see it and you'll be like, oh, there's a moon on that tower.
On that,
I'm just going to climb
yeah,
it
on that
because it's
rock
really easy.
or whatever,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, there's just a moon in the open.
I mean, there was one that I missed completely because I was looking at something else.
Oh, yeah, it was very
just
funny.
in the open. Yeah.
And there are moons that are just like that, and those are there because if you just want to get through the story and you don't want to play in assist mode, because fuck assist mode. I don't even know what it does. It gives you like it gives you like arrows to tell you where to go, which
But
ruins,
it sounds
kind of ruins the
yeah,
game.
you know what I'll say? If you've
Hey, I'm glad it's there.
no, here's what it is.
but I'll never use it.
If I had a 5-year-old
Yeah.
and I was like, I need to cook dinner, I'm like,
Just give him assist mode.
here's the Switch controller. Play on assist mode.
You can
I need
play.
some fucking cookie
You can
food
you can
before
play
you
two
start.
plays as well. One person plays as
Yeah.
Mario, the other person plays as the
James
hat.
told me that, and I nearly lost my mind.
Yeah,
I don't know how that would work.
I don't know
but
how
it
the hat.
sounds
I haven't played
delightful.
it, but like it's similar to Galaxy, where one person would be like the star shooter.
Yes. I'll let
the
you know
other person.
tomorrow how
Yeah.
it goes.
So the Mario is the hard bit, and the hat is the easy
bit.
one.
So I might be the hat.
Yeah.
Because I'm very
Yeah.
bad at video games.
So that I guess that segues into a good part is that Mario in this game is broken. Like Mario.
Sorry,
is,
what do you mean?
So his moveset, like what he can do,
Yeah.
is bonkers.
What do you mean? Well, you said broken to start with. That's different. What do you
Broken
mean?
as in, well, like, not broken, like it's by design, but he is powerful. Like
He's just
as
like a god now.
like in terms of movement and getting around, like in terms of like health, I guess.
'cause
Like
the
he's
hat,
pretty piss weak.
The hat made it like I tried to save myself because I was like, oh, if you throw the hat, you can kind of like cover some horizontal space.
Yeah.
If you're in the air, and I tried to save myself intuitively.
You actually were like, if you had done like some extra stuff, you would have survived that. Like
it
you were
just-
that situation you're in, and again, this is in the video. That situation was survivable
Mhm.
if you knew what to do.
Right.
And it's that kind of there's so much in this game that rewards that level of like execution.
Mhm.
So you have like again it comes back to moons because everything about this game is based on the moons. You have you just have the story moons, so things like multi moons, so the ones that give you 3. Those are from bosses mainly.
Yes.
And in every time there's a multi moon, you have to get it. It's like required for the story.
Sure.
And if you're playing super linearly on the path to that moon, to that multi moon, to that boss fight, there'll be like really, really hard to miss single moons. Like it'll be ones that are just out in the open.
Yeah,
it'll be
like
ones
the
that
one-
are really obviously in your path.
Right.
In your path.
Like the one with the invisible tower, I just walked into it. 'cause
Yeah.
It was just there.
yeah, and stuff like that where it's just like you'll come into an area, it's not your actual mission, but like there'll be moon shards around, or there'll be
Sure.
a moon somewhere. You'll be like, I'm gonna just get that.
Yeah.
So and it's the kind of thing where if you do that and you go to the boss and you defeat the boss, you'll probably have enough to advance. There may be like 1 or 2 extra you need to collect depending
They're
on
not-
how much exploring you do.
Right, but they're not like hard to
But
get.
and they're not hard to get and they're not required.
Sure.
So you get like that kind of style of gameplay means that anyone that just wants to go through the game and see the story, it's not that
They
bad.
can just romp through.
You can just roll through, get the story. It takes about it's like 10 hours,
Right.
8 hours, 8 to 10, and it's fine. It's an interesting story.
Sure.
It's boring, but it's a Mario
Right.
story. You can see most of the game just by doing that.
Sure.
And then you have the sort of like explory people who explore.
Yep.
And this breaks down kind of into people who are good at Mario and people who are like, I have issues with some platforming. And like that, the thing is that Nintendo is so much like both of these people matter because like that's what Nintendo's always been. It's always
Okay.
been people who are really good at our games matter and people who suck dick at games matter.
Now you've worried me. What have they done?
So
Because from a I'll speak to this
It's-
really really quickly because I feel like this is something that we should all think about a lot. Is when someone says the thing we've made is for everyone, that means it's for no one.
yeah.
From it's like from marketing, from anything. We've talked about
Well,
this before
this-
with projects.
This
but
game
yeah.
is for Mario fans. Like that's who it's for.
The trouble is Mario fans were kids in the kids in the 90s who late 90s who didn't really know about video games but really liked like how fun Mario was, and then it was like kind of like a gateway drug.
Yeah, and
So-
like 12-year-olds now.
And now there's like this exactly, there's like a divergence, right? There's
Yeah.
like us who are playing it who grew up with fucking Mario and like ultra nerds, and then
Yeah.
there's the kids these days, and then the normal people who like played Mario a bit on their friends'
Yeah,
couch
now we're
when
just
they were
like,
high,
meh.
and they work in a finance firm, but they bought a Switch because they can afford it.
Yeah,
and they
tried to
played-
get a NES Classic, but
They
couldn't. But they're not really
'cause
too
there's
worried
no
about
stock,
it.
And
Yeah.
they bought Zelda, but played 10 hours of it, and then they bought Mario, and that's all they're playing. And their
Yeah.
wife is like, "Why aren't you cooking dinner? Why don't you talk to our kids?" And
It's
you're
like the Mario.
"Dog, I gotta get those moons."
Yeah.
So they're trying to hit all of those. Do you think?
So, from the perspective of just if someone wants to play this game, if someone wants to finish it, and if they want to finish it, they have that way of they just move through the game.
Right.
But if they want to, and that's why I say the story is really the tutorial. If you want to play the game beyond that, it opens up. At least with some moons, we'll get into others later. Some moons open up in a way where there's really two ways of solving it. You can either kind of think, like have an explore, find like an interesting capture, find like a person you can capture that gives you an interesting ability and use that in a cool way to like solve a puzzle, usually like a platforming puzzle. So maybe like there's a guy on the other side of the map who can fly.
Or you can jump higher.
Or can jump really high, and the challenge is get that guy who can jump high to this place where he has to jump high, and then get him to jump high, get the moon. And so the challenge in that is the traversing the map with this character and get to that point, and then just hopping up and grabbing.
Because it's designed for Mario.
Yeah. So, and then the other side is just if you know how to chain together different types of jumps, which it's insane.
Okay.
And like if you have a really deep understanding of the physics of just Mario and how you can use the triple jumps and the high jumps and the mid-air long jumps and the hat jumps and like all this crazy shit that exists, you can just you don't have to go across the map to find the dude. You can just get up there. The challenge is then contained within that space of trying to make that execution.
Ben, this is like,
so it takes the same amount of challenge. And it changes it from just being an execution challenge to being like a long form
it's a lateral
exploration challenge.
You're either work out the jump sequence, or you go, hang on, I know that this weird dude with a long neck and a big jump can get me over there, or this guy with this frog can do it for me.
And because in each world there'll be like 4 or 5 sort of like set in stone like capture characters you can get. So in each world you'll kind of know, okay, there's like some Goombas, there's this dude, there's that dude.
Right.
And like, there's this other guy.
That's per area?
Per area, pretty much there'll be like 4 or 5. And so in your mind, you'll be like, okay, I can get that guy and bring him over somehow. And
he can help me do this bit. And do you think, because this to me, and I don't know if anyone, this will speak to particularly millennials listening, when we were younger, you couldn't like Google if you got stuck on a Donkey Kong level.
You can do it, yeah.
We had the SNES, you couldn't look it up. I had the Game Boy Color copy of Donkey Kong Country, and you couldn't like look up how to be very good at this level, so you had to go to an older brother and be like, how do I do this? And they would pick up the controller and they would just do it, fucking nail it, and you were in awe of their ability to do this. And that's what I feel like Mario Odyssey is trying to encourage, is like, you go, I'm playing and I'm like, Ben, dude, I just can't, and I hand it to you and you go bang, 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 because you know the sequence.
I've done that. Because me and Laura have been playing it sort of together. She's blasted through and finished the game really quick. And I've kind of been lagging behind.
Yeah, and you're staring at the vistas. And...
Yeah, like, so I watched, more just, I didn't play it a bunch. She just crashed through it in a weekend. And so she would, like, there were some sections that she played where she would sort of, have troubles with it, platforming and stuff like that, and then go off and find some character to do it for me. And like, I would come up and look at it and, sort of semi-blind as well, because I was kind of looking at just like, I was watching her play fairly offhandedly, sort of off to the side.
Yeah.
But I knew that it was a thing I had to solve. I was like, I can probably just do this funky series of jumps. It'll take me like 5 times. Like it's not like instant. Right? It's like, I could probably do it. And Laura's just like, no, you got to do this. It's like, give me a sec. I think I could do this. And it's like, and you do it, and it's just like, cool. It's like, it took me the same amount of time. Like, it was the same level of challenge, but it's like, it's a completely different way of playing the game.
Right. And do you think that, I mean, obviously they planned that, right? It's Nintendo.
Oh, it's 100%.
Nothing is by accident.
Yeah.
But something about Zelda especially, and we talked about this a bunch during our podcast and, in my follow-up antagonist videos, something I love about those concepts they introduce as far as like play conditioning and the way they teach you to play the game is like throughout, they say to you, play the game the most fun way.
Yeah.
Not like the best skilled, not like, the best tactical, not like the best math. They're like, play it the funnest way, because that's how we made it. Right? And it feels like, from what you've said, Mario's gone, listen, as long as you get the moon, that's what you're all about, dog.
I think there's...
You did the reward, and it's how you get there is what matters. And it's like, do you do your string of complex jumps? Do you take your, Goomba and your jump up, your frog, whatever it is? Like, and that to me speaks to a design philosophy as far as like making a video game. And that, obviously it's a different studio than Zelda. No one thinks that Zelda, no one thinks that Nintendo first party games are made in the same office, but like, it speaks to like a level
Some people might.
yes. It speaks to like a level of like, clearly as a company, they've decided our first party games, as much as possible, are going to be these experiences where we try and reward players for having fun, not for being good. And whether having fun is, traversing as you said, the level with this character that, and it's gonna get me across that, or it's the complex jumping mechanic. Do you think that, is there still a place for that? Or have we moved too far into like the cynicism of your Call of Duties and your Assassin's Creed?
There is a problem that this has caused, and it's come down. I've seen it. I saw it in a lot of reviews, and at first, like before I bought the game, I was like, man, I was like kind of worried, and I was like, I pulled it. I was just like, fuck it, it's probably good. Like the reviews, fuck the reviews.
I've seen a bunch of 10 out of 10s for this one.
Yeah,
and
that was the thing where I was like, some people were giving it really good reviews, but people who I know are like really big, like Mario people, were saying the biggest thing that was like coming up in a lot of like more like Nintendo-y circles was the difficulty being kind of easy. Like if you're good at Mario games, it's an easy Mario game.
So sort of like how I did that automatic,
but
across the invisible bridges.
I think part of that is it's really easy to, and this isn't, I don't know where this fault lies. It's the kind of thing where it could easily lie with players. It could easily lie with developers.
Yeah.
Where if you play the game to just beat it and you're good at games, like you'll blast through it and you'll find it way too easy.
Right.
But if you take the time to almost like make yourself do dumb things. So if you go like, if you see something really high up on the ledge and you're just like, I can probably jump up there. Even though that's absolutely not the way to do it, but you're just like, I can probably jump up there. And you spend like 5 minutes figuring out how to jump up there. If doing that makes the if you figure out a way to get up there, that's amazing. That's awesome. And it's like really cool. It feels really good. But then if it's like, whatever, I can't figure out how to jump up there, I'm gonna just do the really obvious solution. Like it doesn't, that's more fun than just going, oh, obvious solution.
Right. And, I was watching a video just before we hit record where this guy was doing this like really elaborate series of jumps on like a ledge that you shouldn't, and it was like in any other game, it would just be like an empty...
You just hit a wall.
Yeah, an empty like invisible wall, but he got up there and there was just like massive stack of coins. Yeah. And it's like the developers said, listen, dog, if you get up there...
Someone's going to get up there.
Enjoy. And I love... that, and that was one of my favorite things about Zelda.
Well, the best.
I don't want to fucking keep hopping on Zelda, but it's such a good game. There were so many points in that video game where you would think you'd outsmarted the developer. You're like, dog,
and
I can
just
climb
like,
here,
no,
and I can jump, and I can hover, I can glide, and then I can ice, and I can do this, and I can get, and you get to the top, and there's like a different boss, and you're like, oh, or there's like a different reward, or you get to the top, and it's like a whole start of a new quest chain, and you're like, oh, yeah. They've got my number.
I think the cool thing with Mario is that because Mario is like inherently a completionist game, and I think Zelda is as well, but Zelda, it's a different type of completionist game where like it's insane to try to 100% Zelda.
Zelda's a narrative completionist, whereas Mario, there are counters. It's counters on the UI, and every time you pick up a coin, it's like every time you pick up a purple coin, it's just like you've picked up 20 out of 100. Right. You're just like, gotta get 100. I don't know if I have all the shrines in Zelda.
Yeah, there's no indication.
Yeah.
It's...
But I know that I've seen the whole world.
Zelda tells you where, like, how much you've done, but it doesn't really tell how much you have to do.
Whereas Mario
tells you how much you have to do.
Which I love.
Yeah, but it means that those crazy, like, out-of-bounds, high execution things can't lead to rewards that are, like, required for 100% in Mario. Not like it can in Zelda. Because in Zelda, if there's, like, a boss that you can only fight if you do some crazy jump, that's content that requires high execution, which works in a game as massive as Zelda, because it's like everyone will have a cool experience just through the sheer lore of big numbers.
And just the scale of it.
Scale of it,
And that game, that game is like... Yeah. We don't have to talk about it, but like, fuck, it's
in
good,
Mario, it's just like, the only thing you need to sort of be rewarded for that crazy cool execution, because you expect nothing. You expect there to be nothing.
Right.
You expect to be able to just like fall into a void and escape out the map and do some dumb shit. And the game's just like, nah, here's some coins. And you're like, yeah, fine, sure,
all you
take
need
that.
is like the curiosity required to activate you to do it. And isn't that such like a delightful, like, the belief that Nintendo has in us as humans.
The game
is
has so many
joyous.
moments where there'll be like a little path off to the side, and you're just like, there's definitely something around that corner.
Oh, it's good, isn't
And
it?
you walk around the corner, and there'll just be some coins. You're like, fuck yeah.
You know what it is? Coming back to your Dark Souls thing, it's anti-Dark Souls, right? You go around the corner, and instead of a horrible demon ready to eat your soul, it's a little coin.
But
or a little heart.
it's the same it's the same feeling.
It's the
It's just
same
like,
game.
oh, it's a thing.
It's like the same game, like design principle, but it's based off like two different beliefs
Yeah.
in people. One of them is punish you for trying. The other is, oh my god, you did a very good job. And you're
Also,
like,
yes,
you're like, yeah, like you have like there's like a moment.
this
right?
game is the Dark Souls and Mario games. Just putting it
Yeah.
out there.
No, you're
we're
right. No,
coining that now.
You
It's
said that at the start,
the
but
Dark Souls and Mario games.
I'm totally with you. It
you
totally
drop coins
is.
on death and you can roll. It's a Dark Souls game.
But like I think from like a design philosophy perspective, what they've done is they've produced a game where they've said, listen, when you try to find the edges of this world, you try to find the
Yeah.
you know the boundaries. Listen, we made it all. We made the game. This is not an open world game. There's levels.
Yeah.
We get it. And what we're gonna say is, hey, somehow through the tools we built, you've outsmarted what should be possible. And fucking good
Have a
job.
buck.
High five. High five.
Have a buck.
Yeah, and you're like, great, I love a good high five.
Yeah.
And that's such a delightful like attitude. You know, Halo 2 had the scarab gun with this weird glitch they had. It's because they couldn't fix the glitch. If they fixed it, it would have broken most of the hard coding in the game. So they went, fuck it. If people work it out, give them a good gun.
Give him a laugh.
And I like that design philosophy where it's like, you know, we can't account for everything. What we can do is say, hey, listen, you playing, we super value you playing our game, and we love you being in our space.
Even just like GTA does it a lot. I know in like San Andreas, or Vice City, I think one of the games, or three, there's like a bridge, and if you manage to like climb up to the top of the bridge, which for all intents and purposes is impossible, there's like a little texture on the wall of the bridge that says you shouldn't be up here. Like even that, like no reward, but an acknowledgement from the player,
Right.
from the developers.
I mean, even
or
Fallout,
from the game.
Fallout 3 had that thing in Megaton where if you no-clipped up to the sniper on the very top of the town,
He
he
says,
would say, how did you get up here?
he's like, how did you get it? You're not meant to be here. And you're just like, caught
and
me,
you
fair
go,
enough.
you go, wow, Todd Howard really, you know, he put those lines in.
Pod Tower, yeah.
Todd Howard?
Pod Tower, yeah.
Todd Howard made the whole
Todd
game,
Howard,
so he
yeah.
really made that decision.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the point I'm trying to make is just that there is something to me that is like bludgeoningly hopeful about everything that Mario makes from their first party studios, where I'm like,
That Mario makes from that Nintendo.
fucking Nintendo, Jesus Christ. It's been a long week. I've
The Mario boys
had so much
out
cold
at
flu
Mario
this week.
HQ.
I'm full of like pseudoephedrine. No, but that to me is like they believe so much in us as players that I feel guilty for being like the cynical prick that I was born. You know what I mean? Like
it's such a like
it's. I just want to. You're gonna.
you'll
leave.
start picking things up like as you get through, and it just the joy just flies off the meter.
Well, I've decided at some point, I think last week when we were all talking about it, I've decided that like I want to record my journey through this game with my different friends, right? This is a game that I want to share with the people that I like to spend time with. Like
Yeah.
I'll record it with you, I'll record it with James, I'll record it with other people. Because there's something about Mario
100%. Like
that
it's
always just like makes me happy in like a way that like a self-indulgent, cynicistic, you know, prick who analyzes everything
Yeah.
to its core. Like I just fucking love Mario. And it's
I've-
senseless and I love it.
I've used the like the capture share button like more times in Mario. Like all of my screenshots are just from Mario,
Right.
Because there's
You
so
know-
many moments where I'm just like,
Someone needs
I'm
to
gonna
see
save this.
That, no, that drives me crazy, right? People don't talk about this enough. All of your consoles and your PCs now, they all come with the kit that lets you, you know, share an image in real time or a, you know, last 10 seconds of video or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if you're a pro gamer, you show off your good clips. What I do, and I've noticed this with Assassin's Creed Origins, is the game will make me grin like an idiot. And I'm like, dog, my friend's got to see this. And
Yeah.
I'll tweet it. Because like, I'll hit the, you know, screenshot and Steam will let me
Hit the tweet button.
do the
yeah.
API and hit that tweet and shit. And like, that's a crazy thing that I never noticed is that when I'm really loving a game,
You're
I
sharing.
want to show
yeah.
people. I'm like, guys, how good. You know, I tweeted the other day about in Assassin's Creed Origins, they give you like a towel outfit
Yeah.
where you wear a towel and you can
It's-
just play
you
the
can
whole
just
game
wear
as a
the
guy in
whole-
a
yeah,
towel.
You used to be the towel guy. Yeah.
I was so delighted because I did 3 missions where I saved people's lives wearing a towel.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a small thing, but it makes all the difference. And it feels like Mario Odyssey is a studio and a brand who have decided, you know what, the joy that you feel and that drive to say to your friends, hey guys, I'm having a great time, please check this out. They've kind of condensed that, they've titrated it, and they've said, here's a boy with a mustache.
Ooh, titrated it. Ooh.
Yeah, you like that one.
They've nailed that perfect base.
They've got that pH balance,
That
dog.
pH balance.
But no,
man.
it just, I don't know, it makes me so happy that there's still a company out there who has faith in us as consumers. Because it feels like now every video game, you know, I'll kick it, don't worry.
You kick it. Sorry.
You know, excluding like, you know, the CD Projekt Red and
CD what now?
CD Projekt Red. I can't.
CD Projekt Red.
It's Projekt Red.
Yeah.
It's hard because I want to go French with it. It's not French. Though.
It's not French.
But
it's Polish.
you know, excluding the guys that made The Witcher and excluding like, you know, the guys who did Assassin's Creed Origins, you know, the Wolfenstein games, there is
What, Bethesda?
this. Well, Bethesda didn't make it. There is a tendency to treat your players in this kind of cynical way, and we've talked about this so many times, where games will be like, you know, you'll shoot a guy and they'll be like, you shot a guy, mate, what a bad time, wink wink, nudge nudge, and you're like, yeah, games are bad. You know, GTA 5 does that, where they're like, violence is bad, it's all
Bang, bang.
satire, bang bang, and you're like, yeah. Whereas this is just like earnest.
It's super earnest.
And we talked about this like a bajillion times on this podcast. Every time we get yelly and then we come back to like this idea of like, when you make something
I
that
want it to be real.
believes in it, the person, it's going to be
it's
wanky.
the Wonder Woman of video games.
Right. It believes in the
Yeah.
person watching it. It says, listen, things are bad, but fuck, we believe in you and we want you to enjoy this.
Yeah,
just-
have Mario nipples.
Have a nip.
And you're like, oh, thank you.
And I go, yeah. I go, yes, please. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm ranting about how the video game industry has reached this point of cynicism where it's like we can't make anything earnest anymore because the consumer base is, you know, the generation underneath us who it's our fault, obviously, because we kind of raised them in this environment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's nice that they just fucking love making games and they love making people happy. And I think that if exploration and doing a sick chain of jumps or grabbing a Goomba boy and then taking him across the map to get to the heart, you know, the moon or whatever it is, if that makes you feel that like joy of discovery, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me hopeful for video game design.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
there's so many moments even when I was playing and I would find like a secret area and because Laura was ahead of me, she'd be like, I didn't find that, and I'm like, like
I spent the time. I
Yeah.
indulged, you know?
Well, not even that. It's just like I just happened to come across
Yeah,
this cool place.
it's
It's
delightful.
just like, damn it.
That might be a good place to end. I'm just so happy this exists in the world. I said that about Zelda as well, but like, fuck, I love Nintendo. God.
They are like the Switch is getting like I think now like the big three for the Switch, you know, Zelda for the just for the Zelda's like that's the big app.
That game is perfect.
Yeah. Mario Kart, just get some friends
With your friends.
Yeah, play some new Mario Kart.
Yeah,
and
it's
this
very good.
This is like the you know, this is you know, it's Mario. It's fucking Mario.
This is the like Zelda was the game that you played on your like HD
big screen,
OLED
yeah.
TV in your pajamas at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
and you turned it off at 9:30 to go to bed. Mario is the game when you go to bed, you pick up your Switch and you play your Mario because it's
Yeah.
like your little guilty pleasure. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like being a kid.
It's a little
again.
Mario, yeah.
And you gotta have hide under the covers
Oh,
because
dude,
the light goes out
absolutely,
the
yeah.
door, your parents will
Yeah,
see you. You know what?
100%.
Like it's that game, and I fucking love that. And I've got no other like prophetic point to end on. I'm happy it exists.
Yep.
Do
It's a good time.
you have any recommendations for this week, Ben?
I was gonna say Mario, but then I realized I wrote down what I was gonna
You
say.
also
before.
do that every week where you're like, the
I've-
thing we talked about, I
I've-
recommend it.
I bought Day of Infamy.
What's that one?
Do you know Insurgency? It's a video game. It's on Steam. So Insurgency was a shooter, and Day of
Let's-
Infamy is a.
Let's
it's
assume
a-
everyone
it's a-
else knows about
It's
it.
a World War II shooter.
Sure.
And it's not Call of Duty World War II. It's better.
Right. Yeah.
I've
Sure.
been playing that. I bought it. I was like, whatever. I do not do much with my life at the moment.
Is it okay? Yeah. Wait, I feel like you've reached the point where I was a few years ago, where it's like nothing but work and uni.
Yeah. And yeah, I've been playing Mario Odyssey, but I can't recommend that apparently.
Well,
'cause
you
we're
do it
not-
every week,
we're
and I'm
not
like,
allowed
dog,
to do
come
that.
on. It seems like a cop out. It's NaNoWriMo. I'm gonna give you an update every week.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that around as well.
It's weird. So like, yeah, it's strange as like like I've written so many books, but
I've
I'm like, this
written
is
no books.
you've written how many words have you got so far?
Like 500.
Okay,
it's day two. Yeah, I'm gonna go home and write a bit more.
I'm good so far. I'm still energetic. But aside from that, I've gone down this rabbit hole of like I don't know when it happened, but there's an aesthetic on YouTube in like the lo-fi hip hop scene
Oh no.
where it's like Rick and Morty gifs on repeat with like some sweet dope tunes behind it for like
Is this
10
like
hours.
people music?
Well, it's
Human music?
It's an extension of that, but it's like Feelings is one of the
Is there like
ones I
a?
love.
Oh right, and like the Get Swifty,
No,
like
not
a
that.
lo-fi Get Swifty.
Not it's not based on the show. It's like sweet lo-fi hip hop, but
It's
they
just
use gifs from the show on loop.
Lo-fi hip hop, dude.
And it's fucking great. I've been writing a lot, I've been editing a
Yeah,
lot, and
lo-fi-
it's just
lo-
the best thing ever.
Lo-fi hip hop is it's good.
I
It's
vibe
good for
so
that
hard
kind of
on when
thing.
I'm working.
It's shit music,
but it
but
gets
it's
you. It's your
good
head.
it's good for study. Yeah.
Something about like the way that it interacts with like the whatever
the
that
neurons
process is. Yeah, it just gets you
in
in
your
the zone.
brain.
So I've been really loving that. But also I've been fucking so hard with Assassin's Creed Origins, and it's the reboot the series needed. It's
Well, it is
basic-
called Origins.
It's
so.
it's The Witcher 3, but in a different context and executed differently. And I think that in a few years, it's going to be one of those games that people look back and they say, "Thank fuck that Ubisoft turned left
so it's
instead
going
of
to be
right."
Assassin's Creed 4.
You know, yeah, it's like
New
Assassin's.
AC4.
It's exactly because it's the same guys that did it, but it's exactly
Yeah.
like Assassin's Creed 4, where it feels fresh, it feels new. The character in the game is like actually accessible, interesting, and complex and dynamic.
So the way you play Assassin's Creed now is literally 1, 2, skip a few, 4.
1, 2, skip a
Origins.
few, 4, start again.
1, 2.
Yeah. And it's really great, and like and I don't want to be that guy, but it's like they cast all the characters really well. They don't whitewash anyone. It's really interesting, and I super duper recommend it.
No
But-
more politics in video games,
But
David.
if you like Assassin's Creed, probably don't play it. It's definitely not for you.
If
It's
you
for
like
peop-
Assassin's
it's for people
Creed.
that like video games and enjoy
Oh
story.
no.
Yeah. But I think that's it for my recommendations. But as always, Ben, it's that time of the week. Do the thing where you end the show. Where can people find us?
Facebook,
Facebook.com/DCMWorksSocial.
YouTube,
YouTube.com/DCMWorks. Twitter, fuck, I was going to say twitter.com. No, it's at DCM_works.
well, twitter.com/DCM.works.
Yeah, I guess.
Patreon.
Well, it's DCM_. I don't know how Twitter URLs work, though. That's why I didn't say
It is just your name.
Well, it's underscore then, because it's
Oh.
at DCM_works.
Okay,
Because they don't let you have full stops for some reason.
No. Twitter.
Yeah, we did Twitter.
Patreon.
Patreon.com/DCMworks. This month, at the end of, it's over now. You got it till the
Rip.
5th.
You're done.
You have until the 5th, I believe. That's when payments go through. If you're a $6 plus Patreon, I misspoke 2 weeks ago. It's $6 plus, not $8 plus. You get access to...
Oh, it got $2 cheaper.
Yeah, dog.
Boy, get up on that.
It didn't get cheaper. I just got it wrong the first time. You get access to our 2 Patreon-only T-shirts. They are currently up publicly viewable on our Patreon page, patreon.com.
Good job, David. You got there eventually.
/DCMworks. I wanted to say Patreonally, and my brain just stopped working.
Patreon.
If you go to patreon.com/DCMworks, the 2 T-shirt designs are up. You get to pick one. If you're a $6 plus patron, you get it for free. And the cutoff is the 5th of November.
And if you're not, you don't get it for free.
You don't get nothing. Well, you can pay for it anyway, but you get nothing. And the instructions will be coming for that soon. So if you are a patron, keep an eye out for the post where it tells you how to do and what to do. But otherwise, if you want to help support the show, it is honestly the best way is to become a patron or to buy some of our merch over at redbubble.com/people/DCMworks.
Redbubble. Oh, wait. No.
No, you should have jumped in when I was saying Redbubble, and we could have done it at the same time.
Redbubble.
Yeah. Grab t-shirts, help support us, and you get a sweet tea or a pillow.
Grab a t-shirt. You get a t-shirt.
Or a pillow like this one.
Buy one.
Audio listeners don't know that I'm
And you get
currently
one.
stroking the pillow in a circular motion, but it's very good.
Just giving it a squeeze. Just
Really
making
wish-
sure it's working.
Cut that out.
All right.
Really maybe uncomfortable in a lot of ways, but as always been, I'm at DCM I Hate Pie,
I'm at Literal Citrus.
and we will see you guys next week.
Cool.
No, don't stop. You went from synced up to like a marimba situation. You're like a ringtone. It was probably a song that reminded me of it, or I done an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Writing is definitely an isolating thing.
From an outside perspective, that's weird as
It makes
fuck.
us look really mental.
But that is
because of what it kind of said about art.
I had fun in bits. There were fun bits.
we went and bought a value pack of straps.
Oh my god, we did. There's a big lesson here to learn about storytelling.